As a result of the Kursk offensive recently launched by Ukrainian forces, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which has been ongoing since February 2022, has escalated dramatically compared to its previous level. At the beginning of August, Ukraine carried out a bold offensive on Russian territory, delivering a major setback to Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. In this ongoing struggle, Ukraine has mobilized its forces and armored units in the Sumy region, leading to intense combat activities in Kursk, located in northeastern Ukraine. While Moscow hurried to gather additional resources in the frontline zones of Ukraine, Kiev's forces quickly took control of lands held by the Russians. Since August 6, Ukrainian forces have made significant progress towards their goal of establishing a buffer zone in the Russian region of Kursk. Reports indicate that a HIMARS attack by Ukraine destroyed a Russian pontoon bridge. This information comes from the United States. During current operations in the combat zone, Ukrainian troops are actively deploying HIMARS missiles supplied by the U.S. A floating bridge crossing the Sime River in the Russian region of Kursk was successfully attacked and damaged by Ukrainian forces during their ongoing operation across the border. They were able to achieve this by using the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, HIMARS, to execute a precise strike. Ukrainian Unmanned Systems Forces released a video showing the moment a HIMARS cluster munition struck a temporary floating bridge along the Sime River in the Kursk region. This is a demonstration of tactical precision, friends. HIMARS was used to destroy a significant number of enemy troops. According to an announcement from Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces on their official social media accounts, Kiev's forces successfully carried out an operation in the region. The statement mentioned that forces were gathering to prepare for offensive operations aimed at positions held by the Ukrainian armed forces. Bridges were crucial during the Russian assault on Kur, in Ukraine, as they served as supply lines. Currently, it is difficult for Russian armed units south of the river to quickly evacuate their equipment while they remain in this location. The JDAMR bombs delivered by the U.S. were identified as the weapons used in this operation, according to intelligence sources. These unguided bombs are converted into precision strike capabilities through these systems using kits. These air-launched missiles have previously been used by Russia to attack bridges on its own territory. Images show that the bridge sustained considerable damage, with a large hole visible. The explosive moment was captured by a drone flying over the bridge, providing a precise visual record of the impact's accuracy. Not once, but twice precision bombs hit the bridge, ultimately causing the collapse of one of its spans under its structure. Due to the recent strikes, the bridge may be deemed unsuitable for use by armored forces or vehicles during operations. In an effort to undermine Russia's supply and logistics networks in the region, Ukraine has deliberately focused its strategic attention on these bridges. Moscow is making concerted efforts to move its soldiers to Kursk in order to counter the persistent threat posed by Kiev's ongoing advances. In August, Ukrainian troops successfully attacked 3 Russian pontoon bridges located across the Sime River, according to the latest information from the Institute for the Study of War, based in the U.S. Given the ongoing hostilities, this is a significant event. According to several experts, the destruction of the bridges crossing the Sime River was essential to providing a strong flank in Ukraine's push against Kursk. This has made it difficult for Moscow to resupply its soldiers stationed south of the river. Reports from Ukraine claim that Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered Ukrainian soldiers to leave Kursk by October 1st. The 106th Airborne Division of the Russian Armed Forces entered the region on Thursday, according to a report by International Security Watch, with the intention of reinforcing Russia's ongoing counterattacks and preparing for future offensive operations against Ukrainian forces within Russian territory. They announced that in response to the ongoing offensive, Russian forces are deploying additional elements of the Świętokrzyska VDB to bolster their efforts amid the relentless attacks. The statement suggested that the BB division, along with other highly experienced units, could be strategically positioned in the Kursk Oblast. On September 10th, the Russian military launched a counteroffensive against the enemy nation. According to military analysts, the counteroffensive launched by the Russian armed forces was anticipated by a large number of Ukrainian defenders. Additionally, the careful observation by Ukrainian drone operators ensured that nothing went unnoticed near the pontoon bridge crossing the Sime River. Operators from the 24th Aviation Systems Regiment successfully identified hostile forces. The 27th Artillery Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces demonstrated their precision and readiness on the battlefield, executing a rapid series of cluster munition strikes using the HIMARS MMLS system. The footage shows that around 30 enemy troops were present when the MLRS operation began. After the missile strike concluded, approximately 13 individuals were still walking around the area. Russian armed forces have managed to gain control of several settlements in the Snagos region, located on the front line. The 2nd Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces has initiated an operation against the enemy in the Snag-Posty region. This is a demonstration of the tenacity and tactical expertise of our personnel on the ground, marking an important step in the ongoing operations currently underway. However, according to analysts, it is not expected that this force will follow a direct instruction from Putin before October 1st. In fact, this does not mean that the Russian armed forces lack offensive capabilities. When it comes to personnel and military assets, the Russian armed forces hold a significant advantage over their military counterparts. From their current stance, the Ukrainian armed forces are leaning more towards a defensive posture rather than an offensive one. Ukrainian soldiers make strategic moves, pushing the limits of their capabilities until they face overwhelming odds, at which point they relocate to more secure and defensible positions on the battlefield. It's all about adapting to the environment and holding ground. On the other hand, Ukrainian forces might find themselves in a position where they are forced to deplete their reserve positions if a significant number of Russian troops launch a coordinated assault from multiple fronts. There is no doubt that Ukrainian commanders are fully aware of this risk. A high level of alert has been activated, and drones are closely monitoring any potential movement of Russian reinforcements. Additionally, we are keeping a close watch on the pontoon bridges crossing the Seime River. While they haven't yet approached the front line, our most powerful rocket artillery is already primed and ready for combat. As part of the latest update, Ukraine's special forces have released a video highlighting recent combat actions in the Russian region of Kursk Oblast. Stay tuned for more tactical insights and updates from frontline positions in the Kursk region. A particular Ukrainian Special Operations Forces unit carried out an extremely precise ambush against Russian soldiers. The tactical execution was flawless, showcasing the high level of expertise and unwavering determination of our personnel on the ground. While enemy infantry troops were making their way through the dense forest, our OSG men opened fire with light weapons, maintaining their position of tactical superiority. It was reported that one Russian soldier was killed, while 2 others were wounded. The operation was a success, and no injuries were sustained during the Ukrainian Special Operations Unit's withdrawal, a perfect procedure in the Kursk region. Ukrainian forces successfully executed an operation that resulted in the elimination of a Russian pontoon unit. The previous day, Ukrainian forces had carried out a strategic maneuver south of Novoputut, located 32 kilometers from the Kursk salient. Their strategy involved deploying fighter jets and engineering vehicles to break through Russian defenses and penetrate their fortifications. A tank came into view while a drone observed from above. At the same time, an engineering vehicle skillfully navigated across an embankment, crossed a trench, tackled a second embankment, and continued advancing. Amidst the unfolding events, the convoy of Russian equipment was struck by artillery fire. Following that, the abandoned vehicles were systematically eliminated by Ukrainian drone operators using first-person view (FPV) drones. On the Ukrainian side, the IMR-2 vehicle continued its advance into Russian territory after the initial breach, but eventually struck a landmine before reaching its destination. According to the Kremlin, Russian forces successfully halted the advance of the Ukrainian armed forces. Analysts are closely monitoring the situation because yesterday's advance could very well be a reconnaissance operation, setting the stage for more aggressive actions in the ongoing Kursk operation. The 501st Marine Battalion successfully stopped a Russian military advance in Bevka, located in the Kursk region. It was the UAB Griffin 501 drone unit that captured footage of the combat actions. The clip shows Russian infantry units attempting to attack Ukrainian fortifications without adequate armored vehicle support. This highlights the difficulties they are facing on the battlefield. After deploying FPV drones from the Ukrainian Marines, the Russians retreated and suffered significant casualties. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that the Russians are carrying out a rapid offensive in the Russian region of Kursk Oblast. It is expected that between 60,000 and 70,000 Russian soldiers will be sent to the Kursk front as part of this rapid offensive. It is estimated that around 40,000 troops are currently in the region. Despite the emphasis on rapid advances, the Russians have so far not achieved any particularly notable successes. Our major military and political objectives are being supported by Ukrainian soldiers who stand firm and take all necessary actions to demonstrate their support. According to reports, the Russian military is transporting military equipment and ammunition from Crimea to Kursk. According to partisan claims, there is a shortage of weapons in the Kursk region, as evidenced by the transfer of equipment. It seems that resources are being shifted from less active frontline areas to fill this gap. From the annexed territory of Crimea, Russian forces are transferring weapons, ammunition, and other military equipment to the Kursk region. According to recently released reports, this operation highlights the military logistics currently underway in the region. Our team closely monitored the deployment of weapons, ammunition, and military equipment belonging to the 810th Marine Brigade, the report stated. We were able to closely follow this deployment. A significant component of the coastal assets of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, the 8,110th Separate Marine Infantry Brigade, is currently stationed at Kocha Bay, near Sevastopol. According to partisan reports, Russian soldiers are currently repairing damaged equipment at their repair camps in Crimea. These locations are somewhere on the peninsula, and once these repairs are completed, the equipment will be transported to the Kursk region. Clearly, there is a severe shortage of weaponry in the Kursk sector. By redistributing resources from less active areas like the Sun sector, the Russians are working hard to reduce this imbalance in their military capabilities. Take a look at these photographs that demonstrate how military equipment is being moved. They include Soviet-era Zu-23 23mm dual anti-aircraft guns, amphibious combat vehicles undergoing their second or third upgrade, and those rugged Kamaz military transport trucks, all designed to carry soldiers and ammunition. Stay tuned for new reports coming in from the front. Those identifying as partisans have indicated that they are aggressively monitoring the movements of Russian military personnel and quickly relaying this information to Ukraine's defense forces. Recently, Atesh operatives made a noteworthy discovery. An Buk-3 medium-range surface-to-air missile system was found along the Gagarin coast near Sevastopol. Given the ongoing military developments in the region, this revelation is critical. Our air defense capabilities were significantly enhanced thanks to the P-18 radar station for early warning and the guidance system of the Buk-M3. This station enabled us to detect and destroy targets at greater distances, considerably improving our air defense capabilities. It is clear that Moscow is doing everything possible to bolster air defenses in the occupied region, as evidenced by the fact that Russian weaponry from the peninsula is being repaired and transported to the Kursk front. It has been reported that troops from Russia's Samara region have been sent to the Kursk front, and these forces have now been activated. An investigation carried out by soldiers stationed at the Sran Military Commissariat in Samara revealed a significant increase in mobilization efforts within the 5th and 5th Separate Motor Rifle Brigades. New recruits are being sent to strategic locations in the Kursk region. Several units have moved from the Pokrovsk sector and are now prepared to enter combat and achieve their objective. Members of the military committee were operating from secret offices due to fears of sabotage. The Russian offensive aimed at regaining ground in the Kursk region has been halted, according to a spokeswoman for Ukraine's military command. This comes in response to allegations that Russia has begun to counterattack after the unexpected incursion following Kiev's counter-invasion offensive, which began over a month ago. Earlier this month, Russia announced that it had recaptured many villages in the region it had previously occupied. These villages were in areas previously occupied by Russia, according to Oksy Dmitrysk, spokesman for the Ukrainian military administration in Kursk. They attempted to launch an assault from the flanks but were effectively stopped. Now that everything is under control, the situation is secure, and we have everything under control. Their attempt was thwarted. The accusation was downplayed by a Ukrainian official who spoke on condition of anonymity. The person stated that the Russian operation in the Kursk region remains active, so it is premature to declare it a total failure. The latest information provided indicates that the governor of the Kursk area, Alexei Smirnov, has stated that Russia is taking decisive action by ordering the evacuation of settlements near the border with Ukraine. The forced evacuation affects villages within a 15 kilometers, 10-mile radius. This action follows an increase in Moscow's activities as it attempts to regain lost ground during Ukraine's counteroffensive, launched on August 6. More than 150,000 people have fled the region due to Kiev's capture of several villages and its advance into Russian territory. To stay up to date, don't forget to click the follow button and give this video a thumbs up.